Alright, this is my Mousinator mouse catching system video. Just a little demonstration. This is the Mousinator. It's already taped up to a hose on the shop vac. It's basically an electrical box with a USB 120 volt to 5 volt power adapter, a Trinket M0 made by Adafruit. It's a little microcontroller board about that big, $8, and a relay inside. And over here is an infrared emitter and an infrared detector inside the tube. And when the mouse breaks the beam, the Trinket senses that and turns the relay on, which powers up this outlet, which will power up the shop vac. So all you have to do is, when you download the design files for this, it tells you everything you need, the code and everything, what you need to buy. And you supply your own shop vac. And I use some industrial tape here, which works pretty well. I just got to really stick it a little bit. So I've already taped that up. So what you do is you turn on your shop vac, leave the power switch on, and you plug your shop vac. See, I dropped this on the edge here. I was playing around with it. I dropped it just a couple inches on the floor and broke that off. But I'll get a metal one so it's a little more robust. And you plug your shop vac into the Mousinator. And then you plug your Mousinator into the wall, which I didn't have an outlet nearby, so I'm just running a little extension cord. Okay, so before I turn it on, there's a little LED here that will go yellow. When I first plug this in, it'll turn on the shop vac for about 1 second, and this light will go yellow. The LED will go yellow just to let me know that it's turned on the test. That's to make sure that whenever you plug this in, make sure you got your power switch on, because if you leave the power switch off on the shop vac, you're not going to trigger it. It's not going to go on. In the new code, this light goes white when it tests the vacuum. Other than that, it works the same. I just changed I wanted a different color there. So you hook up your hose, you plug in your shop vac. I'm also using on my shop vac, I don't want to show it, but I take out the filter. The reason I do that is, in this particular vacuum, the mice can't get through. There's a tiny little hole and it's all meshed up so they can't get through into the motor. But by running it without a filter, you get even more suction. And since we're not vacuuming up any dust or anything like that, I run it without the filter. And this is a 5 horsepower rigid vacuum shop vac that I used for years. I love it. So we're going to plug it in, and you're going to see it's going to test the vacuum for 1 second. Okay. And now the LED is green, which means it's ready to catch a mouse. So what you do is you take like a soda straw and you dip it in peanut oil, just regular old peanut oil. Peanut oil works better than peanut butter or cheese or anything else because it atomizes in the air a lot better than anything else because it's a liquid. So, and you could smell it on your fingers even from a small distance. So that really, it's like ringing the dinner bell for the mice. Oh, by the way, I've got gloves and a mask on because whenever I'm handling stuff with mice, they're very filthy creatures. Even though this has been pretty much cleaned, whenever I'm working with mice, I just don't like to risk it. So I wear gloves and a mask because you don't know what those things are carrying in. So anyway, you hook up your shop vac, you plug in the shop vac, turn on the power switch, you plug this in, you get a 1 second test to make sure everything's going. You got the green light, and this is my mouse simulator because I don't have any mice. And I'm just gonna, this is actually bigger than a mouse because what you might say that's a pretty small hole for a mouse. But mice can elongate their bodies and flatten their bodies. They can get in, if you could shove a pencil under a doorway, they can get under that because they can flatten their skulls and everything. So they will elongate their body. If it's a big mouse, they'll elongate their body. So this is a pretty big, decent-sized mouse here. So he's going to go in the hole. He smells the bait, which is peanut oil. And I'm just going to push this in. And when he breaks the beam, the vacuum is going to go on for 10 seconds. And you might even hear it suck in. And hopefully we'll get a video inside. And then this light will start blinking blue, one blink, to let us know that it caught one mouse. Later on, when another mouse comes along, it's already re-triggered. The mouse will break the beam. He gets sucked into the vac, and it'll blink twice. And I can blink up to 999. When you read the code, you'll explain the blink patterns. But here we go. The mouse just a minute. He's trying to figure out what it is, and he breaks the beam. 10 seconds, it times out. And there's a 5-second delay where it won't trigger again. And that's in case there's mice constantly going in it. You don't want the vacuum running all day because it burns out. So I've got it for a 66% worst case duty cycle. It means it's on for 10 seconds, it's off for at least 5. But you'll see that the light is blinking blue now. It's hard to tell. Let me shut off the light. Let's see if we can see the light blinking blue. There you go. 1, 1. Well, I'm going to simulate. I'll simulate another mouse. I can probably do that without a mouse. I'm just going to put this hook in there and hopefully break the beam. Find out where that beam is. Okay, let's put a piece of tape on it. Bear with me. Bear with. Oh, sorry about this. This industrial tape is something else. Oh, there we go. There. Oh, my glasses are popping off here. So we'll put a piece of tape on there. That'll break the beam. So now here's another mouse coming along. It comes into the trap. It goes on. Yellow light goes on. And for 5 seconds. Now we have 3 mice in there. The light will blink 3 blinks. 3, and then a long pause. 1, 2, 3. 3 mice have been caught. I forgot, this version of the code doesn't have that 5-second rest for the motor. That's why it triggered immediately. The code that you'll download has that 5-second extra wait, because chances are you're not going to have mice come in like crazy, but even if they do, this thing will suck 2 or 3 mice. So if 3 mice come in a hole within 5 seconds after the vacuum just went on, after the 5 seconds, one of them is going to break the beam and they'll all just get sucked in. So again, this is the older version of code. I've updated it. So now you got 3 mice in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this in front of the beam to act like a mouse got stuck in there. And I'll show you, this is a nice safety feature. What happened there is I blocked the beam continuously. So when the shop vac was done with its 10-second on time, it detected something was still blocking the beam. So now it's in error mode and it's blinking a flashed red to indicate you got a blockage. So what you have to do to clear that is you unplug this. And you have to wait at least 5 seconds before you plug it back in again. And then you clear the blockage, however you're going to do that. And then once you got the blockage clear, you plug it back in. Go back to test, and you're ready to catch another mouse. Now I'm going to do 10 mice here. I'm not going to do 10 mice because that'll take forever. But what will happen is, if you have 9 mice, you get 9 blinks of the blue light. When you get to 10, you get a quick blink, and then a long blue, and then a long delay, a 1 and a 0. A long pulse is a 0. So blink, 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 10. If it was 11, it would be blink, blink, 11. If it was 12, it would be blink, 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 12. You can see, and it goes up to 999. So you can catch 1,000 mice. And in the new version, once you go above 999, if you catch 1,000 mice in one shot, it'll just blue light will be on all the time saying, hey, you got a ridiculous amount of mice in there. Now, sometimes you'll get, let's say you have ants or something like that, or maybe some kind of insect, a moth gets in there, that'll trigger. You know, it doesn't know the difference, but, you know, the thing is, if it triggered, and you see the blue light blinking, you know it's time to open up the shop vac and see what happened. And that's pretty much it. Okay, you know, I'll turn back on the light. And we'll open up the shop vac. And we'll take out the mouse we had in there. Caught the mouse. And then, you know, if you want to be humane, you could put like a little pad where the hole enters here from the tube. You can put a little pad, so usually the mice hit their head and it kind of knocks them out, and they just kind of flop around in there, and they eventually die. So a lot of you want to be humane about it. If you put some padding down at the bottom and at the top, they'll survive. And then if you catch it, you can empty them out in the yard. But I recommend you go at least a mile away from your home, because they will find their way back in within a mile. So that's it. The Mousinator. It used to be called the Mousinator 2000 because I designed the original one back in the year 2000. And that used two 555 timers way before Adafruit had ever come out with these little microcontrollers, which were way more powerful and easy to use. So go to my website, paul.romsky.com, look at Mousinator, and you'll see a little write-up on it, and then you'll see a way to download it. You'll get the schematic, assembly instructions, parts list, a README file, everything you need to know to build one of these if you want to build it yourself. Okay, that's about it. Thank you very much.